Good morning. Good morning. Saw that beautiful sight of those mountains that I get to see every morning when I wake up. It's the day after Thanksgiving and or whatever holiday you want to call it. Had a good night, enjoying family, laughing, great conversation. And one conversation that we had, I wanted to quickly share, was um, the actual benefits that we have and that we reap from living in a capitalistic society, a country that's built off capitalism. Now, we all have our positive and negative views of how the United States and America have gained what it has gained through a history of utilizing slave labor, human labor. But the fact of the matter is that this entire world in different sections in the entire world, different places over the world, um, and even in certain places, even now in the Middle East, slavery is still well alive. You and I uh, can do nothing to change this. Meaning we can't go back to undo wrongs. And in essence, there's not much we could do about it right now. It's just the way people are. But what we can do is we can focus in on how we educate ourselves. And I'm not talking about going to traditional education, getting a college degree or anything like that, although there is some information that can be learned there and experienced there. I agree with that. I don't diminish it. But to truly educate ourselves within our hearts, right? Because real education comes from your true desire to learn and apply. So we talked about, the benefits of, being in a capitalistic, society versus being more into a society that's probably built off socialism. And someone said that, just because we view some places that potentially are built off socialism, doesn't mean that they're not successful. We all have that's opinionated, right? And there may be some fact there too. And I listened to everyone's perspective, and I learned something, and something that I tend to struggle with, right? Because we all know what truth is. Our truth is how we truly witness and experience something, right? Now, one person may say, hey, I saw it this way, and somebody else say, well, I saw it that way, and you could have looked at it exactly at the same time, but based on your perspective, how you saw it is the truth that you know. Now, was it a fact? Now, a fact is it a proven evidence of the truth that you saw? Now, someone else in the comments may have a different perspective, and it's okay, but I'm not trying to argue over what's true, what's fact, or anything like that. The point of what I am saying is that living in a capitalistic society like the United States, we benefit off not only what has gone right through positive means of gain, but also what has gone wrong through the negative means of gain. So what does a person who has a moral compass within their heart based on whatever, how do they accept that? How do we accept that we sat down yesterday and we had turkey and dressing and all these different type of things, and we sat and we watched television on made by certain manufacturers. We sat on, different couches. Maybe it was Italian leather or whatever type of couch that we were sitting on, or a chair that was made in China, or maybe a chair that was made somewhere overseas by child labor. How do we truly really know how we benefit or what we currently have and where it came from? At the end of the day, we have a decision to make. We can't control some things, but we still have a decision to make. And how do we deal with that, with something, with that within our hearts? That was the gist of the question or the statement that was brought upon. And the counter to that was that, do you think about that every night before you go to bed? Because what I think about is, how can I better be a better parent to my family? How can I protect them today? How can I feed them today? And both people were right. And it just really goes to a deeper, consideration of, how do we change the world and make it a better place, whether we do live in a capitalistic society and we feel that it's criminalistic, right? Or if we do live in a social country, which America is not that, but it's kind of moving in that way in certain aspects, how do we prevent that, or how do we allow that? At the end of the day, we can only look within ourselves, change ourselves, right? And lead our children to a different perspective and help them to educate themselves, become more aware and more learned of different topics and different societies, and have them make a decision. So do we change anything at all? All I can say is, at the end of the day, I'm thankful that I'm able to have this conversation in freedom and peace. I am thankful I have the ability to go out and do something to change and make my world better. I am thankful that I have the ability and the time and the awareness and the resources to be able to progress. And I am thankful and beneficial for those who have sacrificed before me. Everything else is all vanity. That was my decision and my thought process. So I move forward in peace. I don't do or say anything that I can't come back and say, hey, I'm sorry, forgive me. And hopefully I don't hurt anybody in the process. And if I do, I acknowledge it. So at the end of the day, I am able to sleep well every single night by whatever decision that I've made. Not saying that I haven't made mistakes, because I have, and I know that I will. And I am thankful for where I live. What about you?